Hello, my name's Jane Newsome and I'm a friend of St Anne's Chasetown. I took this photograph last week. I think it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever photographed. The vivid red of the petals, the way the sunlight turns a patch of the petals orange, the black marks on the petals that make the red even more intense, and the deep purple of the stamens at the centre, and all of this set off by the deep green of the foliage. Well, of course, this being lockdown, I didn't travel to some exotic location to take that photograph. I actually took it in my back garden. It was there last year as well, but I didn't notice it then. This year, because things have slowed down and because lockdown has shrunk my day-to-day life, I found myself noticing things that had been under my nose for years. And this poppy gradually opening and revealing more and more beauty was one of the highlights of my week last week. It reminded me of that famous saying of Jesus in St Luke's Gospel, "Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin, and yet even Solomon in all his glory was not clothed like one of these." Jesus uses that image of the lily to talk about our temptation to worry about things. If God makes sure that flowers and plants grow, he reassures us, how much more will God look after you? But actually, to worry feels like part of our human condition, doesn't it? Especially at the moment. Our collective emotions have been on something of a roller coaster since the beginning of the pandemic, starting off with the toll that the virus took of people in Italy, and then moving to our country and what happened to the vulnerable people in our society. The worries that we've had about our relatives, especially those in care homes, trying to work out how we can best do our shopping without putting ourselves and those we love in danger. And now all the questions of should we or shouldn't we send our children to school? And what will the long-term effects be on our economy, on our young people, on our children's education? There is a lot to worry about. I recently read that the word worry comes from an Old English word that means to strangle. And it strikes me that that's a very good description of worry. It's something that sucks the life out of us, that makes it impossible for us to focus on anything else, that makes it impossible for us to do anything useful. But of course the solution is not to say, oh, don't worry, it'll all be all right. Because the fears and concerns in the world at the moment are only too real. And we know that for many people, it would be nothing short of insulting to say, oh, it'll all be all right. But I think that this Bible passage that I've just quoted from, Jesus is reminding us that we're created and loved by a faithful God who continues to bless the earth with the minutest details of beauty and fruitfulness, who cares for the whole of creation, including those parts that seem insignificant and unimportant. And if we can allow ourselves, even just for a moment, to get a glimpse of God's love and faithfulness towards all that God has created, then our suffocating worries can turn into empowering and loving concern for the people and places that God has created. My garden has been a huge blessing to me during this pandemic, and I'm very aware of what a privilege it is to have a garden. Watching bulbs emerge from the bare earth, the tiniest and most insignificant of flowers bloom, apples start to appear on trees, has been a tangible reminder of God's faithfulness, despite the grim news that bombards us daily on our televisions. God's love and faithfulness empower us to share in God's loving concern for the world, for our families, our neighbours, and especially for those who are often dismissed as unimportant and insignificant. can I invite you to pray with me? Gracious God, thank you for your love and faithfulness, which are new every morning. Help me to change my stifling worries into loving concern, so that perhaps I can have the courage to make a difference in your world. Amen. May God bless you.